The moon. That's what we're painting today. Wow, we're painting a moonlit scene, and it's very, very simple. You'll see. So the quote that I'm going to use is from Romeo and Juliet from Shakespeare. And he says, "Oh, swear," this is Romeo speaking, I think. I'm not sure, maybe it's Juliet. But the quote is, "Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon, that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable." Anyway, the moon is not the moon as in like science and exploring the moon, but the moon as a symbol of peacefulness, as a symbol of romance, as a symbol of the day is done and now we're just going to let our hair down. And maybe that's what I wanted to accomplish here. So it is super simple, I promise. And I'll show you how I did that now. So, good morning. Thank you for watching. I'm dubbing in the narration because I didn't speak much when I actually painted this. But as I promised, this is a very, very simple painting. So I'll try to narrate this as a tutorial as much as possible. But I'll throw in a few little thoughts here and there. Who knows? I'm winging this, as you can tell. The first step in this one is to just put a layer of water on. We want basically a sky and water. That's basically the two things. And then we'll throw in some land in the distance. I don't know if they're mountains, but they're just, land rising up on the horizon, and some stones or rocks in the water nearby. No real waves in this one. Just kind of a still scene at night. And one of the things I like to do with this kind of a scene is to make it very wet. And the reason I do that is because watercolor has such a beautiful way of working itself. It works itself. That's the best way I can say it. It does its own thing. It moves around on the paper and does things that you couldn't have planned out. Like when you're working with acrylic, you pretty much know everything you're doing, and you do with watercolor too. It's just that watercolor has this way of spreading around, and not always you can control it. But I guess what I'm trying to say is there are times when you don't want to control it. There are times when you just want it to be in control somewhat of what you're doing. So. All right, so easy. This is probably the easiest type of a watercolor painting to do, is a seascape, especially if the water is still. Adding a moon to it is pretty simple. I probably should have left the white spot in there, but I didn't. And then later on, I pulled the paint off the paper with a wet brush, and that's how I made the moon. You'll see in just a little bit. No gouache on this one. This is completely watercolor. And for those who are new, first of all, welcome. Thank you for joining us, and please subscribe. I don't look at my channel as a tutorial channel. I know some of you use it as that, and that's great. I look at it as a community. So you're an artist, I'm an artist. I'll learn from you, just as hopefully you pick up a thing or two from me. Who knows? But it's just kind of fun to hang out with other artists. And if you don't know who I am, I don't blame you. Why would you know who I am? But I'm Poppa, and my real name is Larry. But I go by Poppa on this channel, Poppa Paints, because I am Poppa to my 5-year-old grandson. And I've been Poppa his whole life, so I'm Poppa. And I've told the story before, so I won't tell it too much now, but I just thought I would call the channel Poppa Paints, and it stuck. Okay, so what I'm doing is taking some pan watercolors. Some people call them dry watercolors. Some people call them, there was a third name. I can't remember. But this is from a company called Winsor & Newton. And why is the company important? It is and it isn't. Here's the thing I think about brands. If you find one that you like and you want other people to know that you found this amazing thing, whether it's cereal or a brand of a car or, I don't know, maybe a neighborhood that you're moving into, you want other people to know. So I want you to know that Winsor & Newton, and I am not sponsored by them. They don't pay me. I don't even think they know I'm alive. But I've been using their paints now for a long time, and I do like the dry ones because I like to keep things simple. You can take these with you. I haven't done a whole lot of paintings on this channel on location or plein air, and when I do plein air, I usually do it with gouache or acrylic, but you could do it with watercolor also, especially pan watercolor. The size of the bag necessary, or the box, or whatever it is you're carrying it in. I mean, look how small that is, right? And there's two of them there, so you don't need two of them. I use two of them because of some of the darker colors are in the one on the bottom. But I just like them a lot, so I'm sharing the name with you. There are other brands that are probably just as good, but what makes them good is the pigment. The pigment is rich, and it's rich, but you can water it down and keep it thin. You could probably take children's pan watercolors and do a good painting. I should do that one day. I should just go buy some of the children's watercolors. They sell them in Walmart. And I should do that just to see how well it works. And you can use watercolor pencils also. And I should show you that one day. I don't know how many I have left. I had a bunch at one time. And with watercolor pencils, you kind of draw things in and then take the water and spread it out with a brush, of course. Or you could use a Q-tip or your finger or a spray bottle. And that's kind of a cool thing to do too. So what I'm doing here is real simple. There's the horizon, and above it is the sky, below it is the water. Simple as that. And remembering to put in the reflection of the moon in the water and the radiance of the moon in the sky, so that the sky is lit from the moon. And ultimately what we want is a romantic picture. That's why I quoted Shakespeare in the beginning, from Romeo and Juliet. Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon. I love that line, the inconstant moon. That monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable. I like that. I think you'd probably know the scene if you're familiar with Romeo and Juliet. Just swearing by the moon and then getting the yeah but reply. I swear by the moon. Yeah, but the moon is always changing. Why do you want to swear by that? Oh, okay. Well, let me swear by something else then. Let me swear by something that's constant. Good luck finding something constant. Yeah, that would have been like if Shakespeare had taken that concept and stretched it out, it would have been more like a Curb Your Enthusiasm line, right? Larry David would have said, okay, I won't swear by the moon. I have to find something constant. And then he would go to his friends and he would say, I need to find something constant. What are you talking about, Larry? Why do you need to find something constant? Because I swore by the moon. And she told me don't swear by the moon because it's changing all the time. And can you just imagine? That would be a great piece right there, right? I guess. What do I know? So I'm dabbing in. What I'm trying to do is create darker to the left, darker to the right, lighter in the middle, because that's where the moon is going to be. And I guess did I put the moon in there already? I can't even tell from the picture I'm looking at. So another line from Romeo and Juliet that Shakespeare wrote about the moon says this: "Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she." Oh man, take that and make it into a Curb Your Enthusiasm moment. Come on, son, get rid of that moon. That moon is sick and pale with grief. Oh my goodness. So, have you ever been to the ocean in the morning or in the evening when the moon is still out? I said the morning, even though the morning you normally think of sunrise, but I'm such an early riser. So I used to work in lounges, in hotel lounges. I was a musician, and I'm an early riser. Even though the hours in the lounge were from like 9 till 2 a.m., so I'd get to bed 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd still be getting up before sunrise, and then I'd catch up on my sleep later in the day. I still do that. So you can see what I did is I lifted some of the paint off of the sky to create that little orb that will represent the moon. And what I'm doing as far as colors, I'm using a couple of different colors. I'm using blue, light blue and dark blue. I'm using blue-green. I'm using a little bit of green. I'm using a little bit of gray or Payne's gray. I'm not really sure exactly what color is in the pan. I have the box here. I can't show it to you because I'm narrating and I don't have the camera on, but the box. Let's see what it calls the colors. Let's see, lemon yellow, cadmium yellow. What are the blues? The blues are ultramarine, cerulean blue, and then there's Verdian blue, and then sap green. So those are the blues, or the green and blues. And that's kind of what I wanted to create, was a picture that was blue and green. The reason I do the cards is because I can give them away. I have started working on a site where I can sell the cards. I only did that because I have so many people wanting to buy them. And I only have one of each card. But this site allows me to have prints made of the cards. So that's a big relief for me, because there's no way I can paint all the cards that people want. Mostly I was giving them away. The church sends out names of people who are sick or who are lonely or who are recently widowed or recently moved into the area and they're just feeling down. And I don't know where they get the names from, because they don't always represent people who are members of the church. I'm not even a member of the church officially. I just go there. I don't know. I'm kind of reluctant to become a member of anything. But I do like the people there and the pastor and his wife. And so they send out these lists of names of people who could use a little pick-me-up. And so I send them a card. Other people send them cards too. I don't know. I might be the only one. Well, Robin also paints cards. So she and I might be the only ones who actually paint the cards. I think most of them are purchased in the store. And that's okay too. But as far as buying my art as art, I do have a site I am working on. It's not finished, so I won't give you any links right now, but right now I'm working on it, and the idea that they can print cards is pretty good. So and they're cheaper too. If you buy a printed card, it's way cheaper than if you buy one of the originals. So, and most of the originals get sent away for free anyway. So that's it. That's it. I feel like I'm doing an ad. I don't want to do an ad. All right, so let me find some more quotes from Shakespeare. This one is from A Midsummer Night's Dream. Shakespeare wrote, "The moon, like to a silver bow, new bent in heaven." I guess that would be a crescent moon. Another one from A Midsummer Night's Dream. "Thou faint-hearted loon, to turn and run thus from the moon." I guess he's writing about a duck. And then the third one I have is, "The moon, methinks, looks like a watery eye, and when she weeps, weeps every little flower, lamenting some enforced chastity." Oh, wow. Jeez. Then there's a quote from The Merchant of Venice, and this is what Shakespeare writes. "Sit, Jessica. Look how the floor of heaven is thick inlaid with patines and bright gold. There's not the smallest orb which thou beholdest, but in his motion like an angel sings, still queering to the young-eyed cherubims. Such harmony is in immortal souls. But whilst this muddy vesture of decay doth grossly close it in, we cannot hear it." Okay, whatever. That one's over my head. I have no idea what I just read. And two more. I have one from Othello. In it he writes, "It is the very error of the moon. She comes more nearer earth than she was wont, and makes men mad." Okay. And the last one from King Lear. "The moon's an arrant thief, and her pale fire she snatches from the sun." Yikes. Yikes. I like this quote from Neil Armstrong. "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." That one I can sink my teeth into. That one I get. That one I know. I know what he's talking about. So to add the rocks into the distant land, all I'm using is dark blue and some of that Payne's gray or black. It might be black. I just can't remember how it was labeled. In acrylic paint, I like to use Payne's gray. I call it the magic color because it is sort of magic. It'll do anything. It's a really great color to use. And you can see how this card would be comforting to somebody. Somebody who gets this card will maybe put it up on a desk or pin it to the wall in their cubicle, or maybe even put it in a frame and use it as a piece of art. Do you know what I have heard people are doing with them? Is they're putting them up in their RVs, in their campers. That's pretty cool. And I guess I understand why. A camper doesn't have a whole lot of wall space. So if you want a piece of art for your camper, you just get a little card. It's painted like art. It is art. And there you go. So let me know if you do that. I'd like to know. I'd like to see pictures. Oh, and by the way, speaking of sharing pictures, I do have a Facebook page. And the Facebook page is Poppa Paints. I think specifically it is Poppa Paints here. Like if you put the @ sign, the A in the circle on Facebook, and then after it you put Poppa Paints here. And the reason the word here, Here, the reason the word here is there is because there's another Poppa Paints And that Poppa paints is a young lady who paints faces. And she was actually before me. I don't know, maybe her last name is Poppa. And I spell it Poppa the same as she does. So anyway, so as you can see, I'm just dabbing. I kept this in real time as opposed to time lapse because I wanted you to see. It only took about 25 minutes to do this painting, and it was relatively quick and super easy. So if you want something quick and easy and beautiful, this is a good way to do it. Just water down the card and look at the reference photo you're using or the image you have in your mind, and kind of break it into parts. In this case, there's 2.5 parts. The 2 parts are the sky and the water, and then the half is the little slivers of land and the rocks in the foreground. And just take your time, let the water do its thing. Spread it out where it needs to be spread out. Make it darker in some parts and lighter in others. And that's usually all it takes to do this kind of a painting. So today, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe we'll take the bicycles out again. Robin and I took bicycles out 2 days ago. And it was a beautiful 5-mile ride. And it was the first time we had ridden the bicycles in a very long time. We used to ride them all the time. But she had a fall, and I had a fall 2 separate times. And it both made us a little bit gun shy, I guess you would say. So we hadn't ridden them. But I said to Robin, they always say you gotta get back up on the saddle. You gotta. It's just a little thing. It's just a little thing that we enjoy. And we found this trail that was so beautiful. It was through the woods. It was paved. The other thing I don't like about the paved trails, that was not the case back when we used to bicycle all the time. But what's the case now is that a lot of people have these electric bicycles and electric scooters and electric, skateboards, I guess, and these electric hoverboards, which don't really hover. But they go fast, is the point. They go fast. Faster, well, bicycles can go fast too, but the average anybody could take a electric bike and easily reach 20 miles an hour, even uphill. So it's kind of nerve-wracking when you're riding a bicycle slowly. I saw the video of myself on the bicycle. Robin took a video. I'll tell you, I look like one of those bears in the circus that climbed onto a bicycle. That's okay. I'm not out there to win a beauty contest. I'm out there to have fun, get a little bit of exercise. Most of the things I've done in my life for a living have been pretty sedentary. I worked in radio for a long time, and you sit behind a microphone, you don't go anywhere. And then as an artist, kind of the same thing. You're sitting at a drawing board or a desk, and you're adding paint to paper and pencil to paper or whatever. So, or digital. I do digital sometimes too. So the picture's pretty much done here. In the video here, it looks like there are 2 moons. I think the one on the left is just a reflection of the light. So there's really only 1 moon there. You'll see when I get to the end, I'll hold up the dry paper. I'm pretty much done at this point. I will turn off the camera, and then during the gap that you won't see, I took the dryer out and I dried the paper, and then that reflection will go away. But right now, in the video, it looks like 2 moons. Maybe I should do 2 moons. It's another planet or something. Mars has 2 moons. I wonder what that's like. I think they're very small, though. I think the moons on Mars are small. And the moons on the planets have names. Our moon is just called the moon, although some people call it Luna. I like the name Luna. Luna, Luna. So anyway, so there's the card. As I promised, this is a very simple one. You can have fun with the colors. You don't have to use the same colors I use. You don't have to have the same design I used. You don't even have to have the moon. It doesn't have to be a full moon. It can be a crescent moon. You could put trees in here, palm trees or whatever. Yeah, there's just so much you could do. Just have fun. Have fun. And I would love to see your work. If you want to share it on my Facebook page, just Poppa Paints. It's Poppa Paints, The Art of Larry Whitler. Whitler is my last name. So if you want to look for it that way. And let me know if it's working. Because I'm a little bit unsure about that. What I wanted to do is to give you a way to show your art to everybody else who might happen to go to that page. And maybe I need to make it a group. Maybe I didn't do it right on Facebook. I just thought about that. Yeah, because I'm in a couple of groups and I can paste things or post things there. Huh. It never occurred to me that I might have done it wrong until just now. All right, give me a second here, and you're going to see it. It's going to jump. And it's going to jump because I am turning off the camera, and then I'll turn it back on after I've dried the picture. I have a handheld dryer, kind of like a hair dryer, but it's a lot hotter, and it can easily burn the paper. You got to be careful. So hold on, here it comes. There we go. There we go. I dried it. I folded it. It's now a card. I'm trying to hold it in such a way that you can see it. And there it is. The inconstant moon. I think that's what I'll call it. I'll take that line from Shakespeare. All right, kids. I guess that's all I want to tell you today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing and for liking and for sharing this information. And after I get off of here, I am going to go onto Facebook and see if maybe I need to create a group for Poppa Paints instead of a page. That's what I need to figure out how to do. All right, see you later.